y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today with another challenge video. So let's get to the craft desk and get started, and I'll tell you more about it in just a few minutes. Alright, here we go with DIY number 1. Now for this DIY, you're going to need 3 of these little cylinders, and these are children's blocks that I got from the thrift store. Now I'm going to paint them all with a coat of Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and each one of these are a different size. Now you also see for my next DIY, I've already painted the back of my little house with the white Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint too. Then after you get done with that, what you're going to need is you're going to need 3 bottle top lids. Now these can come off 2-liter bottles, 20-ounce bottles, or whatever. I chose to go with all white. I do have some colored ones, but because I'm painting these, I chose to have them in white. Now the next thing I'm going to do before I paint these, I got me 3 little pieces of skewer, and I am going to cut them off so that they're about, I would say it's about 3/4 of an inch long. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to push it down into the top of my bottle cap to make me a hole. I didn't wait for my thing to heat up very good, so you got to have it really hot to be able to do this. And you puncture a hole in it, and then you're going to stick that little skewer piece down inside of it. Now after you get the skewer stuck down in it, what you're going to do is you're going to fill that up with hot glue and make sure that that little stick is attached to that. Then after that, you're going to take some of that Dollar Tree chalk paint in black, and you're just going to paint these black all the way around. You may have to go back and do some touch-up coats, but that you want to paint each one of them black. Then you're going to take your little cylinders, and once you've got them all painted white, then you're going to paint them all red. Then the next thing you're going to do is fill up the inside of your cap with hot glue, and you're going to stick it down on the top of your little stick. And if you haven't guessed, we're making little dynamite sticks. Now if you hadn't noticed, I took the top of those little skewers on those little dynamite sticks and painted them gold, like they were lit, and then I glued the 3 cylinders together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this ribbon and I'm going to cut it and add it to the little sticks, and I'm going to overlap it so that it meets in the back. Then the next thing I did is I took a piece of cardstock, traced out a little one of the little wooden hearts, and I wrote on this, and it says, "You are the bomb." And then I took a little hole punch and punched a hole in the top of this, and then I wrote on it, and then I'm going to tie it to my little dynamite sticks. I just attached that with a piece of jute cord, and we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now today's video is a challenge video. It's Hello Love Open Challenge video. It's hosted by the Rusted Willow and hosted by DIY from House to Home, and also guest host Marquita's Creations. Go check out these ladies and check out the playlist listed in the description box below, because there's some awesome crafts going on and you don't want to miss them. Alright, here we go with DIY number 2. Now for this DIY, you're going to need one of these houses from the Dollar Tree. If you can't find this one, any house will work. Now I was really careful not to get any paint on this side of the house so that I could use it at a later date for something else. Now the next thing I did is I had this little mold that I got from Amazon, and I put some baby powder in it, and I'm going to take and put some of this air dry clay in it and smush it down in there. I'm going to work it first so that it smooths down in there nice and good, and you want to make sure the back of this is flat. And then see how the powder helps it to pop out really easy. And if you didn't get some of the details you wanted, you just stick it back in there and do it again. Now after I got it like I wanted it, I took my little X-Acto knife and I trimmed up the edges around it so that my little door that we're going to put on the house is going to look nice and fresh and clean. And so I go back and clean up all those little edges. Now I'm looking to see where I want to place it, and what I'm going to do is put some Mod Podge down or glue, and I'm going to spread it around. Now I got way too much glue on there, so I'm going to have to take some of it off. So I'm going to put some on the back of my little clay piece. And yes, I know this is not dry, but it worked out just fine for me, and all of this did fine. Now I'm taking some of that glue back off and putting it on my mat, and I'll use the rest of that in just a few minutes. Now what I'm doing now is I'm going back over this, and I'm making sure I put plenty of glue all over this. And I know it's not dry, but I put this on there, and I'm doing this as an experiment to see if I go ahead and put the glue on it now at this point, will it keep it from cracking? And guess what? It worked. So this is how I'll be doing all my clay projects from now on. And I made sure I sealed that in. Now I'm going to let that sit and dry. And I'm going to go and get, this is a piece of a little tin pan that I cut in a strip, and I saved the strip by rolling it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little embossing tool, and I'm going to trace around my heart, and I'm going to do that all the way down until I have, I believe it's 3 little hearts on there, and this is going to be the trim for my roof. The next thing I'm going to do is, after I get it all cut out, I'm going to lay it over my other piece I already put on, and I'm going to fold it because I want them to have the same height. So you need to do that on your second piece to make sure that it's the same. And then I'll glue that in place. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little heart, and I'm going to make me a little window for my little house. Now these are just sticks that I'm cutting down to size. You can get these on Amazon, or you can go out in your yard and pick up some, but if you do, make sure you put them in the oven at 170 degrees for about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, until they get good and dried out. Now after we get all of our little pieces for our window cut, we're going to take a red heart, and we're going to glue the little wooden heart to it, and then we're going to glue the little sticks to it. But first I'm going to trim this out in my black Sharpie marker. Then we're going to assemble it just like this, and I'm going to get all my little stick pieces in place, and if they're too long, I'll trim them off. If they're a little crooked, it's okay, because you know, it's a whimsical house. And so I get all my pieces for my window together, and then I'm going to take my window and glue it to my house. Okay, here we are. We're gluing it to the house. I finally decided where I wanted to put it, and we're going to glue it down. Now my little door is all dry, and I added some popsicle sticks to the top of my house. And the next thing I'm going to do is drill some holes for my little pieces of wire that'll hold our pictures. Will be put in this. So I'm going to drill 2 little holes for each little wire. Put some glue in it and stick them down in there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stencil I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to trace out my letters onto my little house, because the stencil wouldn't lay flat because of the door. So I didn't want to take a chance on smearing this. So I just traced out the word love, and then we'll add the rest of what we're going to say. It says love lives here. Once I get all of that on there like I want it, I take me some of those little glitter hearts from the Dollar Tree, and I stick them down. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to paint this door. So the first thing I do is I take my black paint, and I go in between all the little rocks that go around this door. Then I take my gray paint, and I come back and I paint on my rocks, and every now and then I'll pick up a little of that black that's sitting in the crevice to kind of make my rocks already look shaded. So it's okay if the black touches the the gray because it's going to give you variations in your rock color, and that's what you want. Now that I got all my rocks painted, I'm going to take some of that King's Gold and the chocolate, and I'm going to paint my door with both those colors on my brush at the same time. Then I'm going to go back and pick up some of the gray paint, and I'm going to paint the little hinges on the door and the little straps on the door. I started to paint them gray, but I decided to go back and paint them with the darker chocolate paint. And then I am going to get one of those little beads from the little heart necklaces that look like Mardi Gras beads, but they're shapes of hearts. I'm going to get one of those, and I'm going to cut it off of the necklace, and I am going to place some hot glue on my little door, and I'm going to take and stick my little heart bead there. Isn't that just adorable? So now we're going to take some of the brown, and I've got my paint watered down. And so I'm going to add a little bit of brown around the edges to kind of get this some more of a rustic look. And so that's what we're doing here. And then I'm going to get me 2 little beads that came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take some of these little white flowers that you get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to stick them down in these 2 little beads to make it look like vases sitting on each side of the door. Now we're going to see this at the final reveal. And at this time, we'd like to give a special thanks to our subscribers. We love you bunches. We really appreciate every time you like our videos, you share our videos, and you subscribe to our channel. It really helps our channel out, and we appreciate it. Thanks bunches. And here we go with DIY number 3. Now for this DIY, you're going to need one of these little wooden hearts, and you're going to need one of these pieces of I guess it's faux metal something. I don't know what it is. It's really plastic, but it's supposed to resemble like metal sheeting. Anyway, I saw these done at Christmas time with ornaments, so I thought that I would take and make one for Valentine's Day with the heart. I thought this was so beautiful. Okay, the first thing I did is I stuck my wooden heart down to the back of this and thought that when I cut it, it would be stuck to it. But guess what? Nope. This stuff is in 2 different layers, and so the first thing that you need to do is you need to take that plastic backing off and then trace out your heart on your metal piece and then cut it out. Then once you get it cut out, then you can glue it down to your wooden piece. Now you want to make sure that you don't take and put hot glue on this, that you use some other type of glue like E600, or you use the regular glue. Now what I'm going to do before I glue mine down is I am going to paint mine with the Crimson Red chalk paint by Waverly. Then once you get it painted with the red chalk paint and it's dry, then you can take your brush and dip it in white chalk paint and brush over that, and it brings out the emblems on the little metal pieces. Now I glued it down to my wooden heart, and then you see I got these I love you pieces, and I've got the little bow. I made this little bow. I just made an awareness bow, and then I added some little strips to it and put one of those red glitter hearts on it, and then I'll put my I love you on it, and we'll see this at the final reveal. Okay, here we go with the final reveal. Y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these turn out just adorable? And I mean adorable. I think this one is my favorite. Y'all leave me a comment in the description box below because I'd like to know which one was your favorite. We love each and every one of your comments that you leave, and we also love our subscribers and want to thank you for subscribing to our channel. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe because it's free and because it helps our channels out a lot. And every time you leave a like, a share, a comment, YouTube recognizes us and they share our videos. More and more people get to see these awesome crafts like these. So we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.
Y'all see me in that ending clip? I said leave it in the description, leave me a comment in the description box. Yeah, you can't do it. You guys, we love you, and subscribe. Yeah, I know, it's a mess, and I need to clean it, and I will. Oh, I forgot to turn the camera off. We'll see you in the next episode. See you later. Bye.